Solar warming, the revival of Mars. For many ages, Mars has slept in silence, the fourth planet from the Sun, suspended between Earth and the vast dominion of Jupiter. A frozen world wrapped in red dust and ancient memory, its core remains faintly warm beneath the surface. It drifts through the darkness like a quiet ember, its deserts swept clean by winds that have carried nothing for millennia. The air is thin, the cold unyielding, the horizon endless. A realm where time itself seems to have stopped, leaving only the whisper of dust and the echo of what once was. Beneath a sky the color of faded iron, valleys yawn in stillness, and mountains rise like monuments to time itself. Here, silence has weight, the hush of a planet waiting for something forgotten. The warmth at Mars's heart has never fully died. It pulses faintly through the stone, like an ancient memory. Through the silence of ages, the planet dreams, of rivers that once carved its plains, of seas that shimmered beneath a young sun, of air that once sang across open valleys. Yet even in that stillness, something stirs. Change, faint and patient, begins to move beneath the frozen crust. The solar system itself is shifting, rebalancing, and Mars, after ages of slumber, begins to awaken. Beneath its scarlet surface lie millions of cubic kilometers of frozen water, enough to cover the entire planet to a depth of 35 meters. Vast reservoirs of ice stretch across the polar permafrost, and even beneath the equator, with still more hidden deep below, waiting for warmth to reach them. As the ages turn and the heavens move in their vast precision, the stillness begins to waver. Beyond the reach of its frozen plains, the sun burns with renewed intent, its warmth reaching a little farther, its fire falling a little stronger. Subtle forces, long forgotten, begin to realign, and through the quiet corridors of space, the faint harmonies of change resound once more. The celestial dance stirs, ancient and unending. The sun's radiance grows ever more direct, subtly enriched by the distant influence of its companion star, Sirius. Together they weave new patterns of warmth and cold as the solar system moves through its great cosmic day, a 24,000-year rhythm of light and shadow, of dawn and dusk. Frozen deserts shimmer with the first breath of vapor. Crystals that endured for millennia loosen their hold, melting into silver threads that weave through the red dust. In the pale sunlight, the surface glints like glass, each droplet a spark of motion in a world learning to move again. Ancient frost turns to water, whispering across the soil, tracing the memory of rivers long vanished. From the depths of silence, the frost-bound heart of Mars begins to stir. Pockets of buried ice rupture in sudden exhalations of vapor, columns of mist twisting skyward like fleeting storms. The surface quivers beneath the weight of ages, and from its wounds rise plumes that shimmer in the pale light of dawn. Each eruption breathes warmth into the air, where it lingers and coils, the long-held breath of a world remembering itself. The haze thickens, softening the scars of stone and canyon, until Mars lies veiled in its own awakening. For the heavens above are shifting. The balance between the sun and its wandering companion is renewed, and through their harmony, the pulse of life stirs once more. In answer, the red world exhales, a fragile mist forming an infant sky, the first whisper of air in 24,000 years. As the air thickens, the warmth deepens, and the planet's face begins to change. The iron-red plains darken, minerals stir where moisture lingers. A faint green hue emerges in the lowlands and basins, life returning in its simplest form, films of growth fed by light and meltwater. What was once crimson begins to blush with emerald, a color unseen here for many ages. Then, almost impossibly, rain begins to fall. At first a whisper, then a steady rhythm across the plains. Droplets strike the ancient ground, darkening it with promise, feeding the green that spreads outward with every storm. From rust to jade, from silence to breath, Mars begins to live again. A quiet rebirth written in rain, in motion, in green. The planet that once watched Earth from a cold distance now begins to mirror it, to remember life. It is as if Mars has been holding its breath through the long ages of darkness, waiting for the sun to return. The red planet softens, its air thickens, its pulse strengthens. And on the 8th day, the day beyond days, Mars will cease to be our silent neighbor and rise as a living world, breathing beside us once again. When the solar system finds its balance, so too do its planets. And in that harmony, Mars, like Earth, will finally come home. Now the two worlds turn together, bound not by distance, but by purpose. Great paths cross the quiet gulf between them, carrying life and knowledge through the dark. Cities rise beneath new skies, their lights glimmering like reflections of the world they left behind. Trade flows between the planets. Water, minerals, culture, memory, a rhythm of exchange echoing the tides that once shaped the Earth. Mars gives back what it once lost: motion, breath, and the song of living air. Earth gives in return the spark of creation, the persistence of life, the memory of home. Together they form a single pulse, a binary world system, two hearts beating across the darkness in perfect accord. And as their twin orbits carry them forward, the boundary between red and blue, past and future, life and memory, begins to blur. In that shared awakening, the solar system breathes deeper, its harmony restored, its promise renewed. And now, the veil between worlds dissolves. Mars breathes again. Earth remembers its kin. Two suns rise upon a single destiny, the birth of one new, free cosmic world.